Hello, this is Aditya, and today's topic is world, not a place to live happily. Let us very simply and very bluntly accept the fact, or at least come to terms of consideration that this planet is not a very suitable place to live in if we are considering a happily ever after scenario inside it. Inside our minds and inside our imagination, we always think of a happily ever after scenario, and that is not to be in this world. Why? Well, don't even ask right now. You don't need thesis after thesis of research work, data and analysis to prove the fact that as a generation and as a human race, we have progressed nowhere in finding solution to the real problems of life. Where has all this so-called scientific advancement and progress taken us? If we can't even stand the attack of a virus today, we lack the capability technologically, physically, and even psychologically to fight a virus that has wrapped the world around with fear, phobia, uncertainty, death, and disaster. Well, it's not a problem of the virus that we need to address today. Rather, we need to address something much more deeper, more subtle, and yet much more profound. Firstly, one needn't have an high IQ to understand the dynamics of the Cold War that in its various facets is slowly destroying the whole planet in the blind competition to be the supreme economic power, which is ultimately, in one way or other, giving rise to various forms of viral pandemics, biological warfares, trade wars, etc. Here we need to address this innate need that craves power, dominance, control inside human minds that consumes one's finer qualities and even humanity at large. It is this consuming urge of dominance that has been prevailing for centuries in the recorded human history that actually needs to be addressed at first. Otherwise, what is the point of conducting worldwide dialogues and peace conference after peace conferences when the same things will be repeated limitlessly and now even more so frequently, like they have always been since the past? What good can we expect when negative progress is actually taking place in regards to addressing the real elephant in the room? That is, this demoniac tendency to exercise control over others and this world at large. The second and even more staggering matter to be considered is the fact that even if by the stroke of sheer luck we are able to address and amend this demoniac urge to control, to have power and to have position, we are still left struggling with the temporary state of existence of this world. Nothing in this world is permanent. Happiness is not permanent. Sadness is not permanent. Our life is not permanent. Our power, position, status, health, wealth, family, friends, relatives, nothing, and I mean nothing, remains forever. Period. So, how can one find meaning in something or anything that doesn't remain permanent? For future generations, maybe? But in that case, how are you even sure that your effort will ever be properly validated in the future? So, why do anything? Anyway? Why at all? This, I think, is one of the most important matters to be addressed and questioned. Once a solution to this why is found, then there will be very little room for any kind of confusion regarding one's reason for existence or one's meaning of life for that matter. And this is where the real need of self contemplation, of meditation, of self reflection comes in. This is where spirituality gains its importance. This is where we begin to really seek answers, not to fit into anyone else's ideology or idea of the truth, but to seek our own truth for ourselves. The truth of this material creation, the truth of our relationship with the creation and with the Creator. Only knowing the reality of life, of the creation, and of the Creator may we be able to reconcile with our reality and our own truth. There is simply no point in finding any meaning of this temporary existence otherwise. One's whole life may be passed with realizing, or spending enough time for this process of self-realization, which in itself is very satisfying to one's soul and fulfilling to one's heart. The process in itself is sweet and filled with nectarian mellows of joy and happiness at every step of realization. One can realize this while living every moment of one's life with full contentment and experiencing divine ecstasy at the same time. This is not a promise of enjoying heaven in the afterlife. This rather is a promise of making one's present life heavenly, with a future directed towards unending divine ecstasy and fulfillment arising from re-establishing one's lost relationship with our Creator. This fulfillment in itself creates meaning and ultimate end of one's purpose. Because after all, are we not eternally in source of love, of happiness, thereby solving all problems by solving the real problem of hunger of the heart, the hunger for love. Thank you for listening to this podcast. See you later. Until next time. Bye bye.